Since the first poem in the One More Page series that I've done received a tremendous amount of views, I decided that I'm going to record another one. I haven't really ordered them in any specific way, but this one is definitely one of them that's in the series. And it's probably the one I'm going to put on the front page, or the one that I'm going to put on the second page after the initial poem, One More Page, that it's actually named after. This is called An Oath to Both. I'm spelling a lot right now, manifesting even more that's unheard of and unseen by the unheard and unseen. Taking an oath of a series of sacred vows, controlling who does what and what goes where without affecting free will. Be still and know that he is God, and we are both. Do not be concerned with trivial questions and answers with the mind of a scholar and the body of a professional dancer. Charged by unmatched, unmarried feet, we finally meet in the center of a foreign street that was closed by the city years ago of a reconstruction that never happened because the disc on the property was never found or disclosed, and the bank foreclosed, and adjacencies that are too advanced to be decorated to cover the decomposed remains of a wilderness adventure gone wrong in the middle of nowhere where the wind was too strong all along. I'm spelling a compelling article that will leave you breathless before you know why and exposed before you can get dry. Too slick and too shy to advertise any words from the deserted family of the worldly wise. Too spiritually lit for any ordinary shit and too aroused to move our dysfunctional clit. I had to protect the spelling on Twitter so it doesn't get flagged by Twitter for being inappropriate. Hopefully it doesn't get flagged on YouTube for being inappropriate. Insert eye roll here to claim your ending prize of this year. Too hot to handle, too hard to steer, breaking the bottle opener in a desolate attempt to chug that naked beer. Jesus is very near. I can feel his desire to heal. Extend a listening ear to someone the adversary plotted to steal by omission of content that requires the direct access of pertinent information, informing the latest news sources that conforming isn't legit and reform is a step-by-step process. To toss the current guidelines away and reinvent the currency that pays for these circumvented fines that govern the finical state borders and time zones that remain in the background. In the backyard to stand guard, hand over your heart, taking ineffective orders from a team that loves to provoke random suffering. When spooked by the anti-corruption movement that became a fair, fun, and free act. The last time we casually spoke fact for frozen fact. Stoned by the remedial pact, it was bribed to make an effort to partake of the divine amendment still unclaimed and climatically feared as well as revered for its magical powers, baked into a human psyche, sometimes repellent of Reiki, and resistant to anything anyone psychically tells them that doesn't match or resonate with their own intuition. Third eyes can and will deceive you too if you grow careless during fixing your well-disguised, clueless mess in the form of your future when you felt unsure of what would force the time to pass until they found a viable cure that a doctor could use in pure injection as the storm waited to dilute the passion to salute its starring enemy in another criminal fashion of practical proportions that are well known to cause disruptive distortions that live through the thrift store. When there's nothing left to compete for cash and change and exhaustive exchange for a useful card that found itself on your doorstep when all it ever asked for was the front yard. Too late to discard in regards to the face of the non-anorexic jungle of MySpace and Facebook, when all it takes is a phone call or a text message to hook your friends that follow. into taking a special look at the derogatory comments on events that will never involve or concern them. But the fan base is the real gem, especially when we encounter encouragement along the way that provides refuge to save your dishonest day. When you save the spell check for the speech you're aiming to propose by disclaiming to disclose the poise you've taken by selfish specialists, speculation of what went wrong when minding their business would be the most brilliant thing they've ever done. Getting attention is more valuable to them than spilling any truth because that's not popular. And they aren't trending, but if they stopped to consider what they're casually spending, they would fix their priorities ASAP. With the drop of a cowboy hat and boots, the trunk when they got drunk on wine that hung from the literary vine on multiple misdemeanor charges, minor convictions, and hefty fines traded for mercurial fees. But stop the fur on pioneer pieces from shedding all over the brand new bedding the night before, the concluding period of time that marks the insincere wedding. All who oppose may speak up at the last given minute, but do you really have the nerve to cancel our plans with one look in my direction? You know that's all it takes to dismantle me, almost effortlessly but very effectively and soberly bending me over the nearest abandoned trunk, sorting me out into a familiar military bunk and framing the hours I spent blaming those who truthfully chose to abandon their promises and cling to other things that provide temporary relief from all kinds of unreasonable grief. And yet I want you to remind me why I'm a woman in the hidden moments that Oscar-worthy performances and nominations are inspired by. The secrets you foretold will not be so bold with me. They know better, and so should you, but don't think you do. Cinderella isn't the only one who lost her gullible shoe. The story stands the test of time, but no matter. My bad. I completely misread that. But it no many other mountains to climb. Not sure what I meant to say there, but I will edit that. Whether it will remain a classic is not in our hands, but the symbolism and meaning will never die or change. Your retired speculation is out of range to be awfully strange as the facts emerge from the terrible and formidable acts of conscious terror that has an understatement that's hardly exaggerated for the ruthless understanding of its dangerous error. Turning pages today and tomorrow that shadow every offer to circumvent the time we took for granted that shaped every current event, deprived of money and resources well spent to help pay rent. I still don't know what you sent, but I also have no idea where you went, and it's time to reinvent the mindset that reminded you that you aren't broken, only bent. Relentlessly, and for that I am grateful. I never dreamed I would care for you so harshly. I wrote that at the very end of 2021. I thought it was an older poem, but it's not, and if it was, then that's because I'm thinking about a poem that I probably edited and added that to. Alright, so that was called An Oath to Both. That was the second poem in the series, and it was difficult to read. It was also the way I'm sitting, trying to be quiet because everyone in the house is sleeping, and trying to hold the camera and the phone, and I get breathless a lot. It's a side effect of meds that I take. If you follow me, you know that I have mental health issues and anorexia and other stuff. I don't advertise it every day, but I do discuss it frequently, and especially when it's affecting me in somehow, and I think that I can share it with someone else from a perspective that's inspiring rather than negative, rather than I can't come up with the word that I'm looking for, but if I can inspire someone to look at their situation differently, then I've done my job. That's basically my point. I'm sure you all knew that. You all are very smart people and beautiful people. I just wanted you to know that. I'm sending you all my love. If you reached this point of the video, thank you for watching the whole thing. And if you like what I do, go to my website, holysorcery.com, or go to any of my social media pages. They're all at Holy Sorcery. And if you want to book me for some reason, or you want to talk to me personally, message me on social media or go to my link in my bio. It's not a Linktree anymore, it's something else that I found that's even better. Linktree doesn't have an app. They need to upgrade. Alright. I think that's all. If you watched my live video tonight, thank you. I will be back, and I will be doing more of these. Alright. Sending you blessings.